Hello, everyone, and good morning. We appreciate you being on time. We're going to be waiting for 1 or 2 more minutes before we get started. So thank you again for being on time. Let's just give it a few more minutes and then we'll get started. All right. Hello, everyone, and good morning. My name is Ben-Simhon, and I'm Siklu's marketing manager. Today's webinar is dedicated to the possibilities we can unlock by delivering multi-gigabit connectivity over very long distances without breaking the bank. Of course, using Siklu's ExtendMM technology or ExtendMM. We're joined by Siklu's EMEA Regional Sales Director, Mr. Ben-Simhon, who will be presenting today, along our valued partners, Mr. Ralph Brown from MiRO Distribution, Mr. Kyle Stone from Duxbury Networking, and Mr. Ted DeBoer from Adcomtec.
Thank
A
you,
recording
Dan.
of this webinar will be made available on demand on our YouTube channel, as well as other social media channels in the next couple of days. And all of the questions that you ask during this webinar will be answered, collated, and then also distributed in a thank you email at the end of the show. Data sheets and more information about what we're presenting here today can be found on our website. Very simply go to siklu.com/resources and everything is there. Happy to also share that link in the thank you email that we'll send at the end of the show today. Without further ado, I'd like to give the floor to Danny. So Danny, we can begin.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Dan. I hope everyone can hear us loud and clear and able to see my screen. So let's begin. So I will start with a few words about Siklu for those who don't know us. Siklu was established back in 2008 with a groundbreaking innovation that presented to the market the millimeter wave most affordable and carrier grade solution. And since that time, we are the leaders in this market thanks to the innovation built here in Israel in Siklu HQ. And we develop a variety of solution operating in millimeter wave to address various applications. As you can see here on the left-hand side, we have the largest portfolio for E-band and V-band in terms of point-to-point and point-to-multipoint all the way to mesh solution. We have the largest market share at the markets where and this is proven, sorry, at markets where the database of the installation is shared and on the regulators' websites, such as US FCC. And you can see here one of the years since 2011 to date. Every year, Siklu accounts for more than 50% of the new installation in the US. The same numbers are approximately also in the UK. And for other markets, we are getting quite good feedback, including South Africa. In terms of our partners and customers, you can see here some well-known logos from companies such as Google Fiber, which is the ISP arm of Alphabet, and they are a service provider in the US operating at above 20 markets. And we are their wireless fiber solution at locations where fiber is not feasible or they want to get a faster time to market. We also partnered with Facebook for various projects, starting back from the 2500, developing the longest reach millimeter wave radio E-band together with them to address rural areas. Signify is the innovation arm of Philips Lighting, and this is something related to smart city. We are able to deploy or install our point-to-multipoint mesh, a 60 GHz solution inside a public lighting, and this is a subject for another webinar. M24/7, just like Google as a leading alternative operator, M24/7 is the leading WISP in the UK, and we are the main solution also for them. Going to a tier 1 operator such as Rakuten from Japan, which is a leading open source 5G service provider, very innovative, and they chose Siklu as their sole supplier for 70-80 GHz point-to-point. Total Play is from South America, tier 1 operator. Bezeq is the local incumbent here in Israel, and Pelephone is the leading mobile operator here in Israel. Skywire, I'm sure you all know, and our solution, as you can see here, also serves homeland security and security solutions, and we are the leading provider for more than 200 police forces around the world, including NYPD. You could see the Siklu radios even in Times Square. Just a quick catch up in terms of what is millimeter wave and what sets it apart from other frequencies for fixed wireless. On the right hand side, you can see the two bands, V band 60 GHz and E band 7080. On the left hand side, you can see the traditional microwave bands as well as sub-6, which is where you could find things like the remote control that opens your car in the morning, and all the way to alarm systems and cellular networks and Wi-Fi. So this is a relatively narrow band. The main benefit is the ability to operate with non-line of sight, but as you can see here, it's very limited in terms of available spectrum. And apart from Wi-Fi, it's extremely expensive. The darker parts here are the licensed microwave. So again, here the resources are quite limited, and this was for the last, may I say, 50 years, the most deployed fixed wireless solution for transmission. But those bands are now extremely populated and are not able to catch up with the capacity demands of today's applications, and this is why everyone is heading to millimeter wave. One thing that we identified and developed especially for the South African market is the 17 GHz point-to-point band, and we have a solution especially developed for South Africa due to the fact that this band is available for free. But if we go to the main product line of Siklu, we are utilizing the 60 GHz, which is license exempt, and recently was opened in South Africa also for point-to-multipoint. Globally, it was almost doubled, starting in the US in 2016 all the way to 71, and we hope that African countries will follow, including South Africa. And this is part of the guidelines from ITU. Then we have the E-band, which is 7176, 8186, 10 gigahertz of spectrum, which is lightly licensed also in South Africa, and gives a very high reuse. And this is the main part of what we are going to speak today on this webinar with the ExtendMM solution. The benefit of millimeter wave are around the fact that those bands are relatively abundant, and the fact that they are offering a very wide spectrum coupled with narrow beams. That means scalability, unmatched scalability, and we'll soon see some examples. Just to emphasize the narrow beams, you can see here a metal panel on the top of a building where they wanted to hide the antenna. Still, the narrow beam is able to transmit and being received on this radio, enabling a very unique solution. This is just to showcase the capabilities or the ability of the radio to operate at a narrow gap. So imagine that you want to transmit inside a crowded city between buildings that are quite close to each other, and it's not possible with other band, it's possible with millimeter wave. The fact that most of the energy that we are transmitting over those narrow beams is going precisely to the location that I want to serve, that means that I don't need to transmit high power, and my receiver can be extremely sensitive. That also contribute to the high reuse factor, and you can see a comparison with 5.8 gigahertz, for example. And if you couple all those things, you end up with the most scalable fixed wireless spectrum, and this is why everyone sees that as the future of fixed wireless solutions. We also offer extremely low latency with the 10 gigabit solution all the way down to 10 microsecond, and we will talk about it later on as well. An example of how to utilize or to leverage the benefit of narrow beams is transmitting over the water. We all know the effects of reflections from the water, and here I provided a diagram with an example of traditional microwave beam compared with millimeter wave. So with traditional microwave beam, you need to build a very high tower in order to avoid those reflections. It's not the case with millimeter wave. For example, we have here in Israel links operating over the Sea of Galilee. This is the place where, as for the Christian believers, this is the place where Jesus was walking over the water. So we have a length of 10 kilometers and more going from simple light poles that are 3 or 4 meters above the water. Here we can see an example of a radio going 14 kilometers over the sea, still able to deliver 10 gigabit at a relatively low height above the water. We spoke about the ability to operate in dense cities. So let's see some examples of co-locating Siklu radios without worrying about mutual interference. The only thing that prevents us to populate more radios is the physical size of the radio. As you can see here, an example from Portland. This is E-band 7080 gigahertz radios, and those boxes or those radios can be all the way from 1 gigabit to 10 gigabit. The smaller form factor radios deployed here in Jerusalem, again, very close proximity. And a similar picture to this one from London, but it's not only how many radios you can locate or put on one pole, but it's also how many radios you can put on the same rooftop, because usually wireless ISPs are renting the whole rooftop, if possible, and then they want to take advantage of most of the area and deploy as many radios as possible. So let's take a look of this specific example from a rooftop in London, where we have more than 100 radios. So another benefit of setting a millimeter wave and Siklu as your prime solution, just like this wireless ISP did in the heart of London. So we saw how you can populate the radios on one pole or even on a complete rooftop, but how does it look when you look at a complete city? So again, thanks to the fact that in the US and the UK, the local regulator, FCC and Ofcom, are making available for the public the installations data, we also know for each radio exactly where it is located. So if we take those data and plot them on a Google map, we can get this kind of diagrams. And this is those are real radios that we gathered from the FCC database, in this case for San Francisco. And you can see the number of point-to-point radios, 70, 80 gigahertz only, because 60 is license exempt. We believe that there are something similar to that. Evolved along the years all the way to 2016. 2020, we had 6,000 operating links in San Francisco, and then we stopped counting because the message is loud and clear. And for those of you that are interested, we have similar maps for New York or Los Angeles or Chicago or even Manchester and London as well. Let's go and talk about the Siklu point-to-point solutions. The first one, as I mentioned, is the 17 gigahertz EH1107F. This is a 1 gigabit full duplex out-of-the-box solution with integrated switch, 2 ports, RJ45 and SFP. You can see it here. It's a relatively small ODU, but still very powerful, with high transmit power all the way to 10 dBm and minus 99 dBm receiver sensitivity, operate at various channel bandwidths. You don't need here any license to get the full capacity, and I was told that the longest link that we are aware deployed in South Africa goes to 20 kilometers. This radio supports adaptive modulation with quality of service, jumbo frame, Q&Q. It can even leverage the spectrum in asymmetrical channel to enable maximize the capacity that you can deliver, offer very low latency, as well as for those of you who are servicing mobile operators with backhaul, it supports also synchronization protocols. It is available in stock in South Africa with various antenna size, as you can see here, with the related gain. Sorry. The next radio is a point-to-point 60 gigahertz. It belongs to the Siklu 100 series. It's called EH600TX. It supports 11 non-overlapping full capacity channel. Couple that with the massive reuse factor that we've seen. So simply what the feedback that we are getting about this one from our customers around the world is that beside the site survey to find the line of sight, you don't need to worry about potential interference, no need to go and check with spectrum analyzer what are the chances that it will operate. It simply operates out of the box, and if very low chances you get some interference, you can operate the integrated spectrum analyzer and switch to another channel, and then you get through this potential interference. It is available with various antenna sizes all the way to feet, and you can see here the typical distances that can be achieved with it. It is also equipped with a triple Ethernet port, even PoE in and dual PoE out to power cascaded radios, cameras, Wi-Fi access point, or any standard PoE accessories. And it's also supporting carrier-grade features based on Metro Ethernet Forum, and has offered a latency of up to 350 microseconds. The next radio looks exactly the same, but is 70 gigahertz link. And due to the fact that it is 70 gigahertz, it can reach longer distances, as you can see here with the various antennas, as well as using our ExtendMM protocol, and I will talk about it later on. This is the main topic of this presentation. Beside the reach and the frequency, of course, it looks the same as the previous product with the same capabilities, the same latency and capacity of 1 gigabit aggregate that can be used either in symmetrical mode or asymmetrical mode as well. Next one is the 1200FX, which is, as far as we know, is South Africa's most deployed E-band radio. It comes out of the box with 1 gigabit full duplex and available with various antenna size, the same size as we've seen with others on the E-band family. It has a dual Ethernet or gigabit Ethernet ports only, PoE in, and even supports PoE out. Very simple to operate, extremely reliable, and offers the latency of up to 250 milliseconds. Next one is the EH2500. This is the champion of millimeter wave in terms of reach with operational links. We have the world record operating links at 28 kilometers, still delivering 2 gigabit. This one has a 4 gigabit Ethernet port. 2 of them are SFP slots. Besides the PoE, it also supports direct DC, so you can get redundancy for power delivery if required. And it also supports the PoE out up to 13 watts and offers even lower latency of 100 microseconds. The next one is the main topic of this presentation, the EH8010, our 10 gigabit solution. It is the longest reach millimeter wave 10 gigabit solution available today on the market with the lowest latency, extremely low. This is a real fiber-like 10 microsecond, 1 hop latency. It also consumes the lowest power among its competitors on the market. The smallest weight and form factor still offers the highest MTBF of more than 90 years, thanks to the in-house developed silicon from Siklu and the robust ODU and accessories that we are offering with it. This radio supports the same sizes of antenna from 0.5 foot to 2 feet. 10 gigabit can be deployed at up to 16 kilometers with ExtendMM. Every number that I'm showing here is proven in the field with operational links. It offers unique combo port of 10 gig, both RJ45 and SFP Plus for you to choose and for your flexibility. It also supports a dual power supply with PoE and direct DC. And it has 9 levels of adaptive modulation as well as supporting QS and Q&Q in terms of VLANs and double tags with this very powerful radio. Main topic of this solution is how to get millimeter wave at distances beyond the traditional 3 or 4 or 5 kilometers of 70-80 gigahertz, and this is our ExtendMM. Siklu was the first in the world to introduce this kind of solution back in 2014, branded as ExtendMM. And let's take a look in the details of this solution. So basically what we are saying, whether if you already have a traditional link microwave operating at sub-6 or 18 or 23 gigahertz at 6, 7, 8, 10, 15 kilometers, and you want to boost its capacity, no need to forklift it and throw it away. You can use it in parallel to the Siklu radio up to 10 gigabit and get most of the time full capacity, while in terms of the rain intensity will affect the performance of millimeter wave. It will switch over automatically to the backup, allowing you to keep the service connected at most of the time throughout the year. And you can also deploy new links for long distance and couple the Siklu radio with either sub-6, saying a 5 gigahertz radio, for example, and Siklu, or use another band as you prefer. And this solution is quite powerful, and we are very successful with it all over the world, including South Africa, and we will see some examples. Let's go into more details. Keep in mind that you don't need an external switch or router that will control this operation. You simply connect the ODU of your other microwave or sub-6 to the integrated switch of Siklu radio. We will take control of it and use it as a backup, and we will see some examples right now. What does it give you? Usually our customers are doing designs for links with 99% of the time getting the capacity from the Siklu radio. Depends on the model. It's not only the 8010, you can even use it with the EH710 at 1 gig or 2500 at 2 gig or any other Ethernet radio. And rest of the time, about 1% during the year, you can lean on the capacity of existing microwave or new sub-6 or microwave that you are deploying together with it. So you get the flexibility in terms of reach without compromising about capacity. Yes, you can get up to 10 gigabit full duplex, and we will soon see some examples of this as well. So if you couple it with a separate ODU and antenna, it looks like this. You simply connect the 1 gigabit Ethernet port from Siklu to the ODU with the separate antenna, and the service is being connected through the 10 gig if it is the 8010. It's quite easy and simple to operate. And if you are operating at a 5 gigahertz band as the backup, you can leverage the Siklu dual band antenna and only use ODU from any vendor that supports transparent internet, and most of them do. And we are offering a dual band antenna, 1 foot or 2 feet, that supports both 5 gigahertz and 7080, and can be connected with this solution. So 2 RF cables that we are providing, connect them to the 5 gigahertz ODU with this solution, and the 1 gigabit Ethernet port goes directly to the Siklu ODU to be used as backup. 10 gigabit port goes down to your customer or your network as you prefer. Quite simple, quite easy, and proven. What are the distances that can be achieved? So if you consider 99% availability for each capacity out of the 9 modulation level that this radio supports, you can see here the maximum range that can be achieved, and you can see here 10 kilometer, 10 gigabit while maintaining 99%. And if you want to maintain 99% with 8 gigabit or 8.6, you can get 12 kilometer, etc. Some people ask me what are the maximum distances can be achieved while keeping the radio sync at a particular capacity. So here we can get the maximum capacity, 16 kilometers still maintains 10 gigabit full duplex capacity, and you can see other capacities that the radio can maintain a high capacity at various distances as well. So that gives you some perspective in terms of the flexibility of this, of what this radio can offer. In terms of switchover between the Siklu radio and the backup solution, you have 2 options. Option 1 is to simply say when the Siklu radio goes totally down, then run the switchover. The other option is to select out of the 9 levels of adaptive modulation. For example, if your backup radio supports a 500 megabit, so there is no benefit switching to 330 and waiting for the radio to go all the way down to no service, but you rather, when the radio switch down from 700, go directly as the next capacity to the 500 megabit backup radio, if this is the case. So the Siklu Web GUI, and we will soon see that, enables you to select the switch over capacity, and you should select the switch over capacity which is closest to the capacity of your backup radio. And this is quite easy and intuitive, and we'll soon see that on the next slide. So this is part of the Siklu Web GUI. Again, just like any Ethernet radio, you can see both ends of the radio. Here we call them left and right. And you can see on the advanced config menu, we have ExtendMM. Quite simple. If I will go over the steps, you go to advanced config, select ExtendMM, select which side is the master. In this case, the one which is connected to the network usually should be selected as the master. Enable ExtendMM, copy to remote to enable the ExtendMM solution also on the other end. Select the backup port from the Siklu switch. With the 8010, there is only option Ethernet 1, but others offer more ports. Then you can select another port. Capacity threshold for switchover, as I explained on the previous slide, and switch mode, which enables you to do some testing. So usually it should be auto. That means it will automatically switch when the capacity goes under 700 meg. But if we go to main and backup, you can force the radio to operate with the main link or force the radio to operate with the backup link just for testing purposes. But usually it should be maintained on auto, and after that you simply press apply. After you press apply, you get feedback from the radio about the current status. Here we can see that the main path is active, and the fact that Siklu continuously monitor the availability of the backup path, and here we can see it's standby, which means the monitoring is done successfully, and you can rely on it to be ready to be switched to if there is an issue with capacity drop at that path. This switchover is done extremely fast. We even support cellular backhauls, and our customers are reporting that it is done without dropping cellular calls for them. Some examples of how does it looks on the field physically. So with the 2-feet antenna, we are not only providing the two SMA cables to connect the RF horizontal and vertical, as you can see here, with the sub-6 radio. We also providing this small mounting kit to position the sub-6 radio, as you can see here. And here we can see installation with various vendors, Ubiquiti, Wave IP, where in this case the integrator selected to position it down here without using the mounting kit. And here we can see a 5 GHz radio from Cambium. So we are compatible with various, and if you need more information, you can consult with our distributors and us as well. How easy it is to design and deploy Siklu radios. So in terms of alignment, if you deploy the dual band antenna, it makes life quite easy because you start the alignment with the 5 GHz signal, which operate at wider beam. And once you've reached the best RSSI with the 5 GHz, you can start do the fine alignment with the 7080. But if you are not using the dual band antenna and 5 GHz is not helping you for those long distances, you can use with the 2-feet antenna our optical scope, which is a tool that can be purchased from our distributor. It comes with a special package that enables to protect it and carry it with you, just like a backpack. It's quite handy, and you can see it here. It's based on a rifle scope optical monocle, and enables you to run the alignment precision quite fast. The RSSI value that we are giving on our link budget calculator, and I will soon show it, are the exact numbers of 0 point something volts that you will see on the voltmeter, just as can be seen here. And another benefit of the Siklu radio is the fact that you don't need the computer to switch it to alignment mode. When you hook in the voltmeter hooks into the special sockets that we have on the ODU, the radio switches automatically to alignment mode to enable fast deployment and easy installation process. And when you pull it out after you finished and reached the required RSSI, you simply restart the radio and it comes back at operational mode. SmartRoll LBC, this is the Siklu link budget calculator. This link budget calculator enables a very fast and intuitive predicted performance based on statistics of rain from all over the world that we gathered from official ITU database, 50 years of statistics. When you couple the radio performance on the left-hand side, the radio model, the channel bandwidth, antenna size, with the location, we are coupling the location's rain statistic with the RF performance of that specific link and able to give you immediately the required RSSI and the predicted performance in terms of days and minutes and or even seconds of each modulation level, as well as a colored table. This is quite intuitive. Everyone can register lbc.siklu.com. It's available for free, and feel free to register and benefit from it. If you have any issue with the way to use it, just contact us and we'll be more than happy to run online session one-on-one and do further explanations. Another tool that we are offering is a kind of service to give a solution to a complete perimeter. It can be a neighborhood, it can be I don't know, an estate. And here we can see an example with a point-to-point radio going to a location and helping to decide about the point-to-multipoint hub location and the way to connect them to each and every household. This is a tool called Windy, or Wireless Network Design Engine. You simply enter the coordinates of the location that you want to serve. You enter the models of radios that are available at your hand or you want to use, and it will give you 20 possibilities. Each possibility will be ranked with a price and reliability. You select the one which mostly suits you, and it generates for you this design, which is interactive. It can be opened on Google Earth map, and when you touch each link, it tells you the exact channel, the antenna size, and the model of the radio, as well as creating for you the configuration file for each and every radio. So this is Windy, quite interesting for those of you heading to large-scale projects. We also offer EMS and NMS, which are carrier-grade solution to manage our radios. And you can see some snapshots from the screen and the capabilities of those systems, and I will be more than happy to give more information. Interesting is the fact that we can offer a 1 month trial for free. So inquire with your local partner, with one of our local partners in South Africa, and get your software. It can be either loaded on your own server, or you can use it as a service in the cloud, connecting your network. We also give our customers, the ones that are purchasing our radios at our partners, access to the Siklu Partners portal, when you can even open and monitor support cases if you need help with configuring the radio or you suspect that something is going wrong. We also have self-certificate training programs over there, and you can get a free software update with the related releases node, as well as database of literature of all the products. We also have a Siklu official technical channel available on YouTube with explanation of how to install and operate each and every radio model. And we also offer remote support services. This is if it is beyond the warranty time, it's extra payment. And if required, we have a local partner and can support on-site training, as well as the network design services with our Windy, as mentioned before. How easy it is to install the Siklu radio? I mentioned the fact that it switches automatically to alignment mode. So here I presenting an example. One of my trips to another African country, I brought the radios in my suitcase. Those guys never saw a millimeter wave radio. They are familiar with microwave. I gave them the explanation how to assemble the mounting kit and connect the RF cable. We ran the link budget calculator and calculated the required RSSI. Their technician went out up to the tower and connected the voltmeter and started the alignment procedure. And after half a day, the link was up and running, and it's still running to date. I think 3 or 4 years up until now. The radio supports also automatic quality of service with default MEF recommended value. Of course, you can configure them, and also you don't need to program any IP address to enable it to interconnect between 2 points. Of course, it has the web GUI. We saw a snapshot from it, and you can configure it further. But in order to help you do the most important thing, interconnect 2 points, it simply operates out of the box, as simple as that. Some success stories with ExtendMM in South Africa. So here we get a testimonial from William Moller, CT08 iBits. This is a WISP operating in the Cape area. And before they were introduced to ExtendMM, they used to operate millimeter wave links limited to 4 and 5 kilometers. And today, with Siklu, for the last, I say 3 or 4 years with Siklu and the ExtendMM solution, they are very happy to bring their multi-gigabit capacity further 10 kilometers and even beyond. Another testimonial from SpeedSurf. In this case, again, operating the dual band ExtendMM, and this ISP, Adan, is talking here about the fact using the dual power supply, how it perfectly suiting the issues in South Africa in terms of available power, using the AC power with the PoE and the backup connected to the direct DC of the radio, and how it's simply perfectly suited the situation of switching between the 2 options, allowing the batteries to be charged when the AC power is available. More success stories. So here we can see the first 10 gigabit link in Africa, operated by an integrator called AVAX SA410. And the next one is the champion. Please tell me if we are wrong, but the 12.5 kilometer, this is the longest 10 gigabit reach in Africa. If you deployed, any of you deployed longer 10 gigabit links with Siklu, please let us know. But this is Michael from Fiberfly. Here I will give just a snapshot about 60 gigahertz mesh solution, the Siklu multi-hole TG. I will go into just a quick overview to give you to test it, and the next webinar will be emphasizing this solution. So let's see what we are able to do. Basically, the blue boxes are the base station. We have 2 models, 90-degree base station and 360-degree base station. Those base stations are supporting mesh connectivity, as can be seen here, at a distance of self-backhauling up to 350 meters. The 360-degree base stations support 60 concurrent beams, and from those 60, you can allocate for meshing up to 8 beams. Here we allocated 2 beams at each on this triangular. In terms of terminals, we have various terminals. The entry-level one, T260 or T265 with multiple ports, goes all the way to 350 meters. Next one is, and this one also support beamforming, which make the installation quite easy. Automatic connect, may I say. We also have directional antennas based on our audio called T280, with 1/2 foot antenna on this OD, you can reach 400 meters, and with a 1 foot antenna, you can reach 580 meters. And this is based on channel 3 and 4 nines of availability. In this case, I did the calculation for Sudan, which is not so far from the operating condition in South Africa. For lower availability, you can get longer distances. So if you couple this solution with the point-to-point, you can reach quite interesting scenario of servicing an area. So you can get into, for example, this neighborhood with a point-to-point, may I say 10 gigabit. If you have access to light pole, which is can be perfect, you can build between selected light poles a mesh network with the point-to-point base stations. And once you did that, the whole area is covered, and it's a matter of half an hour to an hour to connect each and every household. Simply put the terminal unit and beam it to the nearest pole, and you are in and connected and giving service of up to 1 gigabit to each and every location. So it can be broadband, it can be video surveillance on camera, it can be business building for you to select. It enables very fast time to market and faster ROI without going into the headache of trenching and taking the risk of cutting fiber. And performance is predicted. This is the time to switch to our panelist, and we will start with Ralph from MiRO, our leading distributor in South Africa, the first one. I will hand to you, Ralph.
Hi, Danny. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. My name is Ralph Derek Brown. I'm the Siklu product manager at MiRO. And yeah, thank you very much for that very informative slides. So yeah, so my first slide is just going to cover who MiRO is and what we do as a company and what we can offer our clients. So first of all, we have superior stock holding in all major metros. This includes Gauteng, Nelspruit, Durban, Cape Town, and we also have a distribution center in Gauteng to make sure we have more stock available for smaller projects and large projects. We also have very advanced technical support from 8 till 5. Use the guys, it's free, and they will also help you plan your links as well. And then we also recently have warehousing solutions where we provide clients the opportunity to store their stock at one of our warehouses for the time being if they don't have enough space. And then we also have finance options available from 7 to 30 days credit terms. If you obviously have large projects, you can submit it with us and actually finance those projects, meaning it doesn't go any cash out of your pocket immediately. So it just gives you a little bit of breathing space. And then in terms of online purchasing, we do have a website where you can purchase 24/7 on our website. So just go and visit www.miro.co.za. And then also we've got over a decade of experience in exporting into Africa. And the reason why we tell our clients this is because we simply know what works in the market and what doesn't. And with all those years of experience, it really gives a lot of opportunity and a lot of information in the market. And then we're also fully ISO certified to ensure only the best quality standards. Okay, Dan, if you can just go to the next slide. So the next slide will basically cover all just a couple of client testimonials that we have for success projects that we did in the past. So the first one is one of our clients that actually, it does cover 3 different applications. The first one, the client needed capacity for connectivity, and they also have a very big surveillance project running at that specific university. So these were actually their words. The second one is the capacity that was needed over a long distance backhaul solution. And then the last one, the client actually spoke about it. These 3 are all 3 different clients. The last one, the client spoke about the ease of installation and configuration. Let me quickly go through that. So the first client said, we have been running the Siklu E-band 10 gigabits per second full duplex. So this is the 8010 radios point-to-point solutions from the University of Venda to a water tower approximately 1.4 kilometers apart. We're currently pushing a 3 gigabits per second backhaul through this link and receiving well over 30 MVRs of about 400 camera feeds. So that's quite a tremendous amount of cameras that goes back to this specific link. This link has been remarkably stable for almost a year now, and we highly recommend Siklu and are currently installing the second point-to-point link this year as our network is expanding. So this is just one of our success stories with the client. We obviously helped them with the link planning with our technical team. We assisted them with stock that we had in country ready for them to deploy. And then also they made use of all of our payment terms that we have. And then the second client, actually, this is Danny spoke about them earlier in his slides, is the data throughput was one of the biggest benefits this client said. To have a link at 10.4 kilometers and still have a backhaul capacity of 10 gigabits per second up and down, so full duplex, which is unheard of in the telecommunications industry. This is a cost-effective solution that is durable and extremely stable. There is nothing like this in the market, and this is what the client said. Siklu's ruggedized IP67 rated enclosures means that it is durable and can withstand the harshest of environments, and in turn minimizes the total cost of ownership, which I think a lot of ISPs and WISP are struggling at the moment. It's a carrier grade construction, and performance mean that you get actual value for your money and quick return of investment, which is basically all we want at the end of the day. And then the last client spoke about the throughput, the ease of installation and configuration, the stability, and the fact that a product is carrier grade, high quality type of a link that we know that they can leave up and run without any major issues for the foreseeable future. So as you guys can see, this is just 3 testimonials for clients that we helped build a Siklu solution with, and there's a lot more out there. So at the end, we are very happy to assist you with any Siklu project. We do have stock on hand in South Africa. We've got payment terms. We've got all those things to assist you to complete a project. And we also try to really price our products competitively, so you have a brilliant service and a great product with a very cost-effective price. And yeah, that's basically all from my side. I'll leave my email at the end if any of you want to contact me. But yeah, thank you, Danny. That's all from my side.
Very impressive. Thank you very much, Ralph. Really appreciate what you brought here. And now let's switch over to Duxbury and Mr. Kyle Stone.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much, Danny. Okay, so just a very brief overview. We are talking about Siklu, and they're one of our leading outdoor wireless brands. But we support a complete end-to-end portfolio on either side of your Siklu backhaul. What really sets us apart is we operate nationwide. We've got our head office here in Johannesburg and in Cape Town and a satellite office in Durban, but we have our logistics countrywide and throughout Africa as well. But it's backed up by technical services that we can use to support you, which can be very important with Siklu specifically. If you're not familiar with the product, it's quite a diversion from 5 gigahertz links if that's the only experience that your installers have. It can be a bit of a learning curve for first-time installers because of the narrow millimeter wave. So we have a full dedicated pre-sales design team. They can assist you with desktop designs, give you your link budgets, tell you what you can expect. But then beyond that, we can even do on-site site surveys and a complete turnkey project solution for you to back you up directly with your end user. So we can do physical installation, we can limit it to just commissioning, and right through after that, we can even give you a back-to-back SLA with your end user. So I think that's what we like to think sets us apart, is we have very strong technical resources that we can use to support you in your Siklu deployment. Next slide, please, Danny. Okay, so special offer for webinar attendees only for the month of February. So if you purchase a Siklu E-band link from Duxbury during February, what we will do is we will give you free on-site commissioning for that link. The list is limited up to 1 day's labor. You really shouldn't need much more than that for a Siklu link. They're really quite easy and self-explanatory to set up. So we expect 1 day labor should be more than sufficient. We won't do the physical installation. We're just going to limit it to commissioning. So we'll assist you with the key thing being alignment. So again, I drive that point home. Siklu is a really great and easy link to set up, but if you've never done it and all you've ever done is 5 gigahertz, there's a good chance that if you're pushing a long link, especially on ExtendMM, you might need some assistance with alignment for your first attempt. We'll do this within a 70-kilometer radius of Duxbury, Johannesburg, and Cape Town offices, because that's where our technical staff resides. This office is still valid to anywhere else in the country. It's just that if our staff need to travel beyond the 70 kilometers, then we'll charge just for the travel and any accommodation, and you can still get your free commissioning on site. Need any more details? If you do purchase a link, just let us know and we'll go through the whole promo with you. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so you've heard a lot of in the Siklu slides, some record distances. This isn't quite that, but it's a point I want to drive home because it was an interesting link that we did with a first-time Siklu customer. So I keep saying it's quite easy to set up. There's competing vendors that might do a similar kind of thing as the Siklu, but in my experience, they've really struggled first-time customers. The Siklu, this 9.84 kilometer link that was deployed, which is still really quite lengthy for E-band, was up in 1 day by a first-time customer. They had no experience with the Siklu prior to this. The performance was very close to what the link planner receive levels predicted, and probably could have been tweaked a little bit more. It was on an unstayed tower, so that may have been the reason it was slightly off, is that it wasn't quite as stable as we wanted. But they were able to get it up first day, strong receive levels, multi-gigabit, full duplex performance for a first-time team, which we found very impressive. And I think that's what you can expect from the Siklu, is that they are very, very reliable and they can get operational quickly at multi-gigabit speeds. Following this, some 5 gig backhaul links were installed as well, and they got them licensed up to the multi-gig. This screenshot was just the initial commissioning where we only linked it up at 1. It's now go up to 10 gig full duplex and has the 5 gig backhaul on it at 10 kilometers for a first-time customer. So yeah, I think that's it correlates to what Siklu is saying, that you can really push the distance and have the reliability peace of mind with your 5 gig failover, and you can do it quickly and easily. So if you have any more questions or need more information, you can contact Duxbury and speak to us about the promo. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Kyle, for sharing with us the experience from your customers and the various services that Duxbury offer. And this is the time to switch to Adcomtec and Mr. Ted DeBoer.
Thanks, Danny. Hi, everybody. First of all, thanks to Danny and Dan from Siklu to set this all up for us. I'll chat a little bit about Adcomtec, who we are, what it is that we do, and how we can help you on the way forward with products such as Siklu. Adcomtec is a value-added telecommunication infrastructure solutions provider. We specialize in design, deployment, and support, predominantly of optical and wireless transmission networks. Anywhere from the core at Terraco to metro and access space up until the last mile, Wi-Fi applications, rural applications, and everything in between. So what we'll do is we'll assess your situation, we'll help you with the planning, we'll put everything together, we'll help you deploy the network as you need it, where the help is needed, and we're there to support you after the fact as well, so that your network is up and running and it stays up and running you have happy customers, and you can go on and grow that network and your revenue as well. Can I have the next slide, please, there, Danny?
Sure.
And then in particular, for this webinar, we have a special deal with zero interest payments over 2, 3 or more months. So depending on what you need, obviously we understand that that these kind of applications in a lot of cases are quite costly, and we are here to help you overcome those costs by assisting you with custom payment plans for these particular links. Typically we would do this as well, but for this particular webinar, we can look into doing zero interest payments over set periods. Just a little bit of info about myself. I've been in the IP-based communications industry for a good couple of years now, and I've worked with a good amount of different products and companies. Most of you will have either heard of me or dealt with me already in the past, and please feel free to reach out. On the screen right now are my details. You're more than welcome to send me a WhatsApp, a Signal, a Telegram, an email, or just give me a plain old school call, and I'm more than happy to help you get you where you need to be with your business. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Ted. Dan, you want to add something?
I think it's really great. I enjoyed everybody's presentation. I think there's some really interesting commentary that's come out from customers actually deploying these solutions. I just want to communicate to everyone that asked a question. I see Ted has actually answered the questions that were in the chat from our point. So this recording will be made available once the webinar is finished. The recording will be made available on our blog, on our social media, so there's no worries there on how to find this information. And everything that we've discussed here today is also available as materials on our website, for which I posted the link in the chat, but it's just siklu.com/resource-center. And I think in terms of the Q&A, we did receive a few questions that I'm actually seeing were already answered by Ted in the chat, which is great. I trust that everybody has access to the questions as they appear in the chat. So I will also make those available in the thank you email that we'll disseminate after this chat. And before we conclude, there's also a promotion from Siklu that we would like to extend to everybody that attended today. So Danny, maybe you can switch over to that.
Yeah, I'll be more than happy to do that. So
Excellent.
the special promotion is actually there are 2 promotions. The first one is on the right-hand side, 3 months extended support and warranty, including hardware warranty for every link purchased within the next 2 weeks for webinars attendees only. So this will hopefully give you more peace of mind while purchasing a Siklu radio. And the other promotion on the left-hand side is our multi-OLTG, the 60 GHz mesh solution, which I presented on the last 2 slides of my presentation. So here you get a complete kit with the mounting kits, with the PoE adapters, the cable glands, everything required. All you need to bring is just Ethernet cable, either fiber or copper, and interconnect. You get the 360-degree base station, full capacity, 4 sectors, up to 60 clients. You get the 400 meters terminal unit, the enterprise grade with triple ports, including fiber, 350 meters enterprise grade terminal unit with those triple ports, and the simple 1 gigabit 350 meters terminal as well. All of those with power supplies, with mounting kits and all the accessories required to install them. This price only excludes the shipping cost from Israel, and you can get this with the shipping, with the extra shipping cost at one of the distributors, either MiRO, Duxbury, or Adcomtec right now. So hopefully this is something that will help you learn about the technology, experience it, and deploy it in the installation. As you understood on, hopefully you understood on this webinar, is quite easy. Here you can leverage also the automatic alignment with the beamforming with 2 of the terminals, as well as a point-to-point terminal that can be also quite relatively aligned with the base station. So with that, we are concluding our webinar. Thank you very much. You get here also our email addresses if you want to get more information and some information about a recent survey that our marketing manager Dan ran concluding this year or 2022. Dan, you want to add something?
100%. Thank you, Danny, for recapping this. Actually, Siklu is ISO certified, and part of our certification has us poll the majority of our customers. And actually, this year we've had a record turnout. So we were able to collect hundreds of responses in our customer survey, and we're just very happy with the results in terms of people's satisfaction with our services. So we've picked out, I believe, 2 of the parameters that help us understand whether or not we do a good job, as reflected in the testimonials we've seen in our distributors and the testimonials we're receiving from people that reach out to us directly. So the likelihood of the likelihood to recommend Siklu or purchase again is quite high. So we're very happy with that, and we're showing this on the screen wherever we go. And like Danny said, if you'd like to reach out directly, the information is up at the top. This will be disseminated, like I said, in a nice short thank you email after the conclusion of this webinar. And the third link you see on the screen is a link to a special form that we've built that allows you to get a bill of materials and get the ball rolling on a project that you have. And with that, I thank you for your time. We've gone a little bit over what we've planned, but it's great because I think the content here was really great. I just want to also address the final question that we've received on the Q&A. Not to worry, all of those questions will be answered, collated, and then also disseminated in a thank you email, so you don't have to worry about it. We'll answer all of the questions and answer that. And I think we just want to, again, thank you for your time. This will, I hope, be a recurrence at least once a quarter, where we update you on what's going on and on the latest developments, and hopefully extend more promotions in order for you to get more familiar with Siklu. Is there anything else from our partners that you'd like to add?
Nothing from my side. Just thank you everybody for joining, and yeah, that's all from my side. And have a lovely day.
Excellent, guys. We would like to. Excellent. We would like to thank everyone for coming. Have a great day. Whatever you need, it's marketing@siklu.com, or reach out to Danny or our partners directly, or of course via social media. We're very active on LinkedIn. And with that, have a great day. The recording will be made available when the session is concluded. And we really thank you for coming today.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.